feels like a dawn of a new era for the Sydney FC team. You've had a lot of players leave throughout the last couple of years, but Prinny leaving as well, got a lot of new players coming in. What does it feel like for you heading into the season?
Yeah, just going back on that, our success has sort of hurt us in the end with a lot of players going overseas, but we're proud of that. And you're right, it's a new team in a lot of ways. I think it's Tobin and Mako the only ones that have been there for the last 5 years or so. We've got a lot of youngsters, got some international players coming in, but they're gelling already at training, which is important. So yeah, we're very confident. Again, after last year, we've got a lot to prove to ourselves and put us back where we belong.
How detailed and painstaking process was the recruitment? Because obviously you've recruited a lot of different, I suppose you knew the positions that you wanted to strengthen, but actually getting the players that you had on the short list.
Yeah, definitely. So we definitely have a short list. In some positions they were a longer list just in case we missed out on some players. But again, we had some flaws last year, I believe, in the back half, so in the defence and up top, so we didn't score enough. And we've filled those positions definitely with Heather and in goals and Maddie, so that's going to help. And then up top we've got 4 new players. So we're hoping that'll help in terms of bettering last year. But yeah, we always look in detail with the players, and a lot come across our desk.
In terms of actually looking at the lessons that you learned from last year, particularly as a coach, so have you done anything different? You obviously had so many pre-seasons as a head coach, but given the disappointment of last year, have you changed anything personally this year?
We've tinkered a little bit tactically, but again, if you look at last year, we missed the finals by I think 3 or 4 points in the end. We literally threw balls in the net, so there's a lot of individual errors. And again, we brought personnel to fix that, but we have tinkered with a few things tactically. But a lot of it does come down to the individuals, me preparing them strong enough and well enough, and getting them used to each other. So yeah, a little bit, but not too much. But again, more in personnel than anything else.
This team you have the right team to compete with the likes of Melbourne and Sydney. Comments this year, the squad is pretty stable. Do you think this squad has what it takes to compete with those? We always believe in ourselves, so we're going to try and win everything. In saying that, City and Victory have probably the most experienced teams, older teams. So again, they'll be up there. Victory was unlucky last year. They probably had the best team, but didn't win. So yeah, they're always tough to compete against, but I'm confident in us. We've got a good balance. As long as, knock on wood, we stay injury free. That's hurt us in the past where we had 1 or 2 ACLs. At the moment, we're all good and solid, and hopefully that stays throughout the year. But we're very confident. It's a confident group. Even last year, we were confident after losing so many games early. We've got a good culture within the group, and we nearly got there in the end. So we've got this steel about ourselves. So we're definitely going to give it a crack anyway. Obviously, Indy did her ACL in the season. Is there any chance that we see her this year, or is it going to be a?
No, Indy won't be back. It's just too late. But again, like I said, Hannah should be back by around 2 or 3. And Fenton played last year, the last game, and she's looking good as well. So they're big inclusions. But yeah, Indy's obviously out. Yeah.
Has there been a moment or an interaction this pre-season that's made you realise and have belief that this team can go all the way once again?
Not really, because before we started training, I had that belief, just looking on paper what we had and tinkering a little bit, sort of setting out the plan for our training. But then you do see, and you probably heard Madison, I don't know, were you guys inside? When I listened to Madison Ace, and that impressed me, because you speak to her at training, but the words she used impressed me deeply, and that shows leadership and strength for someone so young. So when I see that, it's good. And then you see the younger ones develop quickly as well. Maddie's, like I said, Ruby's away with the national team. Willa, who's only 14 or 15. So you see the group is coming together. Yeah, so not one thing, but a couple of things make you happy.
I beg your pardon.
You've added Bianca Gallant into the midfield, obviously captain as last year. What do you see her role being? Sort of like defence for the Mariners? She's exclusively going to play.
Yeah, she's a super signing, and going back to detail, we needed a midfielder and a leader more than anything. So last year was only Tobin, so now we've got Maddie, Garlich, Tobin, Maka. So our leadership group's a lot better than it was last year. But yeah, she's a player that it's all dependent on injuries, I guess, but at the moment she's a midfielder. She might have to play 6 for a while Hannah's still injured. But yeah, we'll only use her in the defence or somewhere else if we're desperate or got some injuries. But she's a midfielder in our team.
Ante, you touched on Leichhardt Oval and getting more eyeballs on ground and on TV. I know it's a little bit beyond your pay grade, but could you see the day where the A-League embraces what the NRL's done and have the women's and the men's grand finals on the one day?
Oh, that'll be nice. Yeah. In saying that, we've had decent crowds when we've been in the grand final. I think we had 10 the last 2 times we played, from my understanding or my memory. When we played West United, I'm sure there was 10 at Combank. So standalone's not the worst, but yeah, I think it'll be excellent. It's a good day. I watched the league the other day, and then they had the New South Wales Cup against the Queensland team as well. So a few games on that day. I think it could be a good idea, 100%. You could get 30, 40,000 depending on where you play. From a girls' standpoint, I'd be happy with it. No issues with it. It just depends on, I guess, what they're looking at in numbers. But yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Last year, in terms of the start to the season, was obviously talked about quite a bit in terms of it being a slow start. Is there anything that you've looked at in terms of the strategic approach to your pre-season this year that you might think will help?
Yeah, again, last year I take a lot of accountability for last year in a lot of ways, but this year we've done a little bit more 11 on 11, more game situations, because I think last year it was a newish team. We did move a few people on this year, but I don't think I did enough early on, so they weren't in sync as quick as I wanted them to. This year we've done a lot more 11 on 11 and patterns in play, so they get used to each other. So it's a good question, but yeah, we definitely are working on that. So by round 1 we're ready.
Who's impressed you most this pre-season?
I don't like answering those things because they all impress me, but I will. I'm going to add, and the only reason is I think she's going to be a superstar, and I hope she doesn't get a big head and hears this, and it's Millie Cassar. I tried to get her last year before she went to Wanderers. She didn't play any minutes there, so I went and tried to get her again, and she came over, which is excellent. But I think she's a superstar in the likes of Cooney Cross and Ford and players like that. She's a real impressive player, and she's only 17, so she's going to be important for us. And if I'm right, she's going to have a quick trajectory to the Matildas.
Have you got your dream team together this season?
What do you mean?
The dream team together this season.
In terms of players?
The people you wanted to get.
Oh yeah. So a lot. Yeah, there was maybe there was a striker I wanted to get, and unfortunately she's gone to another club, so that was a bit of a hit. But the rest were all players we wanted to get. And again, the youngsters are now older compared to last year. Getting Kassar finally on the books. Again, even though she's young, bringing in Heather, who's a big signing. We signed her quite early on, so we had her locked in early on. So yeah, we did a lot of things different because last year did hurt us, and again, I take accountability for that. So we have changed a few things, and yeah, I'll call it a dream team. But when we win it, then I'll tell you it's a dream team.
Who was the striker?
No, I can't say. I can't even tell you the club, but I wasn't happy. I had a Zoom and I thought, I think I got this girl, and she pulled out, and then I found out a month later she signed somewhere else. Very good though. But it's okay, we've got some good players, so yeah.